Top Gun Maverick is soaring into box offices this weekend in a bit of a surprise for critics and audiences alike, and a good surprise at that, which is good news for the Tom Cruise Skydance Paramount picture. We're going to talk about some of those numbers, talk about the movie itself. I've now seen it twice. It is fantastic. I cannot recommend seeing this enough. Stay tuned. Let's get into it. Renegade Online. Welcome back. Another great day here at Valiant Renegades. Good to see everybody out there again. And if you are like one of the many folks not yet subscribed to this channel, please take a moment, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button on this video, hit that notification bell, share this sucker out on the social medias, and of course, do leave a comment before you head out the door today. YouTube algorithms love the comments. So good to see everybody. Let's talk about this. I kind of touched on this a couple of days ago when we had a video come out talking about coming into the weekend, the expectations for this film, along with a busy weekend when it comes to new releases. We've got Stranger Things coming out on Netflix to a lot of fanfare. We've got the Obi-Wan Kenobi series on Disney Plus that has launched. So all of this is coming at the same time. But like I said, the big surprise this weekend was Top Gun Maverick. So let's take a look at where we are right now with that film. So as of Sunday morning, we've got our buddy over there at Deadline Magazine, Anthony D'Alessandro. Top Gun Maverick soars to $151 million. Fantastic Memorial Day opening. Best ever for Tom Cruise, a Sunday AM update. So, of course, these are not final figures. These are based on estimates, which typically happens at this point. But there's a lot of good data in this article to look at and tell us where we're going from here. Paramount is now calling the 4-day weekend for Top Gun Maverick at $151 million after a $38 million Saturday estimate, which is technically up 16% from Friday's $32.7, which is the $52 million total haul, less than $19.3 million that they factored in from Thursday previews. That uptick means a ton in today's market, given how older skewing this movie is. Now, this was an interesting part. Disney is still asserting that it will continue to own the Memorial Day weekend record with 2007's Pirates at World's End with $153 million. But again, we don't have final figures on this Top Gun movie yet. And of course, to be fair, that does not factor in things like ticket price inflation adjustments, which, again, as I do here, I'm going to be fair across the board. It's still a great Memorial Day weekend no matter how you slice it regardless. So worldwide for Top Gun 2 right now stands at, again, an estimated $248 million. I suspect that figure is going to be over the 250 mark by the time the final figures came in, because this thing has a tremendous audience and critic reaction to it, and we are going to talk about that in just a moment. Now, here's the updated demographics that are being tracked out there from the various places like Intelligence, from ComScore, places like that. Updated demos are 58% men, 42% women. Under 35-year-olds repped 45% of total audiences, which is a very promising sign considering the sequel is adapted to a wider demographic. Those over 35 repped 55%. Again, that's more unusual because we're talking about a movie that is a sequel to a 30-some-odd-year-old original. And the 18 to 34 segment repped 37%. I think that's going to come up as the popularity as this thing grows, and it looks like that's where it's going, which is exactly the opposite of what happened with Doctor Strange after that movie hit. We're going to show that comparison in just a moment. Close to half of the audience said Top Gun 2 exceeded expectations, while another 30% said that they would see it again in theaters. Those are very, very high numbers. One other thing of note in this article is right here. Overall, Intelligence reports that Memorial Day 2022 versus the holiday a year ago, ticket prices are up 7.5%. Premium large format, that's PLF tickets, are up 3.2%, and there's 69% more available seats for the public. Now, so part of what you need to understand on that is that factors all the tickets going on right now, which it would include, you still have Sonic the Hedgehog 2 out there, which granted is not repping very much this weekend. You also have the other kids' movies, The Bad Guys. You have some other movies that will bring in more younger audiences, which is going to skew the prices of those tickets down. Top Gun is going to be selling tickets at prices that are going to be more akin to what we just saw with Doctor Strange, which And Intelligence reported that the average price on opening weekend for Strange was somewhere around the $13 mark. So I think that is where we're looking more in line with Top Gun, because again, this is part of that variable ticket pricing scheme that all the big theater houses now are using when you get these big blockbuster films. Jurassic World Dominion, which comes out 2 weeks from now, that will be the next one that you will see that kind of upper echelon ticket pricing. And I can tell you the 2 shows that I went to averaged out to about $15 a ticket. So we have definitely climbed the ranks when it comes to that. So let's talk a little bit about why we are where we are. Now, again, usually I am not a fan of Rotten Tomatoes by any stretch of the imagination, but let's look down here. You got Bob's Burgers that came out again this weekend, which I feel bad for Bob's Burgers, but a pretty good critic scored 86% from Rotten Tomatoes. I think that's going to be a pretty good fan pleaser. If you're a fan of the television show, you're probably going to enjoy the movie. But let's look here at Top Gun Maverick. We talked about this in the last video. This thing is just ridiculous. 97% on a critic score for an action flick. That is very, very, very unusual. And that goes along with a perfectly or almost perfectly matched up audience score of 99%. Again, we usually see more disparity on movies, especially like this, with critics and audiences. But this really took me aback on Thursday morning and Friday morning when the Rotten Tomato scores came in. And then it was backed up here at CinemaScore. Now here on CinemaScore, you can see Bob's Burgers with an A, Top Gun Maverick with a very rare A+ score on CinemaScore. This is a surveyed score of audiences. And if you look down here by comparison, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness with a B+. That is, I believe, the lowest cinema score that any Marvel film has ever gotten. It's tied a few others, but that just goes to show when we talk about legs and performance in a minute, as we had in the previous Doctor Strange video, where I told you that Doctor Strange was not legging out all that well. It was very front-loaded, and then it just tanked as time went on. And then let's go over here to Metacritic, and there we go right there on Metacritic. You can see it for yourself. Again, very, very well received on the part of audiences here. Top Gun Maverick with a 78% Metascore, user score at a 9.0. That is something to behold. Again, you got all 3 of these things lining up pretty well, and that should tell you something. So let's go over here to where we are now with the actual data points, where we are for this weekend. You can see, and then this is the estimated 3-day weekend with Top Gun Maverick, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and Bob's Burgers coming in at number 3. Let's take a look at the full weekend chart. This does not include actual Memorial Day Monday. This is simply the 3-day weekend estimate. Again, they expect that Top Gun Maverick with the Monday Memorial Day holiday haul will put it over the top of $150 million. And that's what Paramount is coming in with. And usually the studios or the distributors that release these tend to be more conservative with their projections. So I think this thing still has a chance to get over that 153 mark, which is what it would need to do to beat, again, unadjusted for inflation, the previous record holder, which was Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End. So let's look at Top Gun Maverick here, and you can see the international box office figures are not in, but according to Deadline magazine, it's going to the total haul, global haul, they are expecting at around $250 million. So as soon as that international numbers comes in, we will see some degree of confirmation on that. But let's look at the summary real quick. Calling to attention, well, here we are. We've had our opening 3-day weekend, right? So that means that we start out at a leg of 1.0. We've talked about legs before. That is how well a movie performs compared to its opening weekend after the opening weekend. So we're looking here at a production budget of about $170 million. Of course, this movie has been sitting on the shelf for nearly 2 years now, so there are some carrying costs to that. Of course, we have marketing costs on top of that. I'm thinking this movie is probably going to need to get itself somewhere up and around $550 to $600 million to get to that break-even point. Now, again, this is one of these special things out there I want to call to everybody's attention, because when you're involved with Tom Cruise, not everything is as equal. So what I mean by that is that Tom Cruise is one of those rare movie stars that still exists that has a tremendous degree of clout when it comes to these films. His company, Skydance Pictures, co-produces and co-finances this with Paramount, and it's a pretty poorly kept secret in Hollywood that when it comes to these Tom Cruise movies, Tom Cruise walks away, or at least Skydance is going to walk away with more of the profit take, more money than Paramount will. Paramount is kind of on board for distribution. And if you go see this film, you'll see the previews for MI7, Mission Impossible 7, also a Tom Cruise, Skydance / Paramount joint venture. So Tom may walk away with a good bit of money on this before Paramount sees a dime. It's possible that, again, the contracts for his movies are a little bit more of an anomaly when it comes to Hollywood productions. Now, this is key. When we're talking about Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness before, as compared to this, and I've been lamenting at how poorly it performed after its opening day, as a matter of fact, not even really its opening weekend. Look here at Top Gun Maverick. You've got 19.3 million in Thursday previews for a total of 52 million Friday, which includes that preview day. It fell to 38 million, which really wasn't so much of a fall, again, when you consider that 32 million of that or so was actual Friday. But the fall was 27%. The fall to Sunday, and again, these are estimates at this point. I think this is actually going to be better. It only dropped 11%. Now, let's go back and look at Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness again. Opening weekend, of course, at 187 million. Nothing to balk at. But after 4 weekends in the box office, it is still not broken a 2.0 set of legs yet. That has to be amongst the worst of the Marvel Cinematic Universe ever. That means that the box office was incredibly front-loaded, and the word of mouth was either non-existent or very poor to drive audiences in to see this movie. It just kind of had a big flash in the pan, and then it seems to be dying a very slow death. This movie should be closer to a 2.5 at this point, which is a significant difference. Through the first 3 weekends of Spider-Man No Way Home, it was at a 2.36. This is going to be one of the worst leg outs for any Marvel Cinematic Universe film that they've ever done, bar none. It's amazing, and I think it bodes ill for Thor: Love and Thunder. Yes, this movie made money, certainly, but when you look at something like this, the trajectory of a franchise like this, it should portend to Disney and Marvel Studios that they may have some serious problems on their hands, because audiences are going to be more reluctant to front load another movie right after it, like Thor: Love and Thunder, whose previews, frankly, don't look all that appealing. And again, just looking at the side-by-side here with Top Gun Maverick and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And, Top Gun had a couple of extra 100 theaters or screens that it opened in locations. But again, look at the holds here. Look at the first weekend, 52, 38, 34, and then this drop from 57 to 38 for Doctor Strange that was the first warning sign. Now, again, Doctor Strange did not have the luxury of having a 4-day holiday weekend like Top Gun has, meaning that more of the Doctor Strange business should have been loaded into the weekends versus the weekdays. We're going to see more weekday action, I believe, for Top Gun Maverick in this case, since now a lot of schools are out, and of course tomorrow being Memorial Day, we're going to see a good bounce there as well. So we're going to keep an eye on this, but definitely a very good sign moving forward for Top Gun. And again, I can't urge everyone enough to go out and check this movie. So, in any case, good to see everybody out there. Hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a comment before you run out today, and let me know what you think of all this. Let me know if you've seen the movie. Let me know if you're going to see the movie. Let me know if you don't care about seeing the movie. And let me know what you think. So please hit that like and subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and share this sucker out on social medias. And until next time, take care.